Moving across to a quick breaking update coming across from Afghanistan. What reports are actually suggesting that 4 former Afghan army officers have been killed by the Taliban terrorists as targeted killings continue in Kabul by the Taliban. 4 Afghan officers were killed in their homes by the Taliban as per the latest reports that seems to be suggesting, where we know that several of those Afghan military that have also joined the ranks of the Northern Alliance resistance movement. But these are the Afghan army officers who are in their homes in Kabul, and targeted killings have now begun. Door-to-door searches were already being conducted by the Taliban. Let me go across to Niranjan, my colleague, joining us at this point. Niranjan, just give us through the details as far as what we are getting to know. Door-to-door searches were already taking place. Now Taliban has begun with targeted killings.
Well, we've been getting in ground reports, and we saw a few videos a few days back of them going from door to door and kicking open the doors. Those videos are available with us, and that continues is what we are hearing from the ground in Kabul. And what we know is that they're going looking for former Afghan officers, special forces, and this is something that will not be reported by the local media there because there is a fear against the Taliban. But we have confirmed reports that they've been going door to door. And this is an input that we've got from the ground of the situation in Kabul this morning. And we have confirmed information that in the last 24 hours, at least 4 Afghan officers were killed in Karteno. Karteno is in Kabul. And we have information that they were killed in their homes as they went from door to door looking for any former Afghan forces. And this is something that we can confirm to our viewers because in the last few days, from first-hand, and these are details coming in from first-hand accounts, of the Taliban looking for anybody who has served in the Afghan forces, and they're going from one home to the other. In fact, there are several first-person accounts also of family members who were picked up. If they could not find the member who served in the Afghan forces, they're picking up family members and then using that as a bargaining chip so the Afghan forces show up. So these are some of the details that we are getting in, and what you see now is one of the videos of them going from door to door. This is how they've been carrying out their operations, and this was in Karteno. Karteno is otherwise historically known as Saeed Nur Muhammad Shah Mena, which is a neighborhood in eastern Afghanistan. It is under Kabul, and this is one of the districts in Kabul. And it is a residential area with a high number of Pashtuns also living here. Now, this is what we know, and we can confirm from first-hand accounts that in the last 24 hours, at least 4 former Afghan officers have been killed by the Taliban in what is door-to-door searches. And this is something that we can confirm first-hand to our viewers. I think Colonel Rohit Dev is also joining us on the phone line. Let me take
Niranjan, thanks very much.
Yeah, sorry. You can go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Thanks very much for the update, Niranjan. I'm getting to know that Colonel Rohit Dev is joining us here on the broadcast. Good afternoon to you, sir. How are you viewing these developments? Because there were door-to-door searches that were continuing. Many of those houses that were marked, and now targeted killings have now begun on part of the Taliban. The atrocities continue. This is the real face of the Taliban, sir. Former Afghan military officers are now being killed.
All right. So there is no surprises there, actually. And you will see this brutality index going up in the coming weeks. It will take about maybe a month and a half for this to, I will not say calm down, but go down in the splurge that is happening in terms of killing of humans. What do you expect? Ideologically, Taliban is attuned that anybody who disagrees with them, the Sharia law enables them to kill people. So they are killing people. And obviously, people who were with the Americans, people who were with the previous regime are going to be targeted. And also, when you have credence being given to this government internally by various factions and chieftains of the Yor, these people are going to get a little bit much bolder with the current success in reclaiming some territory from the Northern Alliance and other fights. They will grow in that stature, and this is not something like which is happening only by the loose cannons on the ground that they are taking out some kind of a thing against their old enemies. It is an orchestrated thing with plausibility, deniability at the head, sitting in Doha or wherever. And at the ground level, they will clear a lot of these, inherent threats they have because the people they are killing are actually the Afghanistan citizens who will not change. They are for humanity and prosperity. And Taliban does not look the view at them to be some stakeholders tomorrow. So they will do their part to continue with this, and that's the sad part. And I'm sure this UN HRC meeting, which is scheduled or may have already happened today, should take note of both the things. Firstly is this killing, and secondly is the isolated pockets of resistance of Northern Alliance and others where people may be cut off for food and supplies and fuel. UN has, I will not say currently blood on its hand, that is in the US part currently, but UN needs to step in. And where are the other leaders sitting on the UNSC while India is making the right kind of call for coming against terrorism? They need to tackle Afghanistan from the humanitarian point of view, and they need to tackle Pakistan from the terrorism point of view, because the iCard you showed on your channel last evening in Arnab show is a clear testimony that Pakistan has been involved in creating all this. And I will not be surprised. This dictate to kill a few people of the ex-regime is also Pakistan guided, because there will be, a threat tomorrow in being. A threat in being is worth eliminating as per the terrorist and Sharia's laws. So that they are doing it. And the third factor is China, because whatever small parcel of land they have and the kind of credence they want to get by saying Taliban is okay, they'll be pumping in a lot of money. So the other threat is how to cut off the arms and ammunition supplies to this country, and especially Pakistan. So let's see how the world reacts. But these are very sad scenes that if you're going to kill people on the streets and in their houses by door-to-door searching, just because they were part of a regime earlier, is something that clearly shows that Taliban is not here for any democratic setup at all. So this should be highlighted. And glad that you're playing it on your TV. I'm quite surprised. Where are the CNNs of the world and others? It's a sad story, because unless the story is picked up and flashed across the world, the consensus will not develop. Yesterday, I saw 4 or 5 ladies standing in the capital, again, I think on your channel, trying to protest. We need a larger protest on these world bodies in India, in Delhi especially. Let's do it on this weekend with your support. Let's create more fervor across the UN headquarters. There is a representative there from our country who should curate this. There are citizens there. There are voices from your channel abroad. They should do this. It is time that this has to be called out. Otherwise, it is going unabatedly, unabashedly, and against humanity. This kind of a treatment is absolutely heart-wrenching. And for some, for me, it's something like, I actually want to go there and slap some faces, but I can't do it. And so sad that the superpower has left them in the lurch like this for them to fend for themselves. People who have worked for that United States of America are today being killed on the street. So who will come out tomorrow for any call across the globe for either UNSC or US or NATO, if this is going to be, just see that image being flashed on the screen right now. Singled out, aiming, killing a person with a bullet facing his face on the wall, sitting. What kind of humans are these? They are inhuman terrorists. So that is where we have come to. It's shameful. It is very, very shameful. And if the world bodies do not take note of what you are showing, I think it's going to be a pittance of a committee of nations coming around, and they would have failed like a League of Nations. They have got no future if they don't solve this issue right now. So that's very sad. And thank you for, for projecting this
rightly
incident.
said, sir, because I can assure you that Republic is the only network which is continuously covering the Afghanistan crisis there, sir, because it's a humanitarian crisis and the world needs to watch and needs to take note of that, because Colonel Rohit Dev, sir, you've been also mentioning about the Taliban brutality there. What we are getting are first-hand accounts, sir, what has happened in Andrab, as they are, the Taliban is seeking to capture Panjshir, because the situation there is dire, sir. The terrorists there are not permitting the supply of food and fuel in the region. Also, kidnapping of children and the elderly and the women are also taking place, sir. How shameful is that?
Absolutely. Like I said, and let me just break it down. Leave the head and tail for the moment out of the conversation. The heart of Afghanistan is the youth, the citizens, and these women. They are so brave to come out in the streets, and these hooligans and terrorists are trying to show the force of a gun with 30 rounds of ammunition in that Krasnikov. Is that what the world has come to? Is that what we stand for? Is that what the United Nations stands for? Is that what US has interpreted as a pullback, to happen behind in Afghanistan? I mean, that military part of Panjshir, I can still understand. There are ways and means to deal with it. So humanitarian assistance to give supplies will be good enough for the day. But on the streets of Kabul, Herat and other places where the innocents are being killed and tortured and maimed, Is this humanity? I mean, leave the side that who governs and what front-ending government comes after 4 or 5 months, what part of Taliban is part of it, how suave they look, how moderate they look on the world stage. It will happen somehow. But to reach that state, if this is the means, to kill humans, see this airport, shot you are showing right on the television. Is this humanity? Is this life? I mean, life is at such a huge risk. And we are talking about grandiose plans of what will, happen as an outlook when Taliban comes to power. I mean, is this power? This is cowardice. Cowards take guns and make that gun turn towards the woman. Cowards take a gun and make it face towards children. Cowards try to kill the prosperity and the Josh in a country. These are cowards. And we are giving all kinds of credence. Yes, I am saying as an analyst today that tomorrow a government will be front-ending Afghanistan. It will have Taliban 9% or 99% is the only option. But to reach there, is this the path? Humanity has to be, trampled at their feet and guns. Where is that goddamn world? And why only a few channels are on this mission to show the truth? Worldwide. It is so appalling. I mean, such a beautiful sight you showed me 4 or 5 days ago when women were leading that 100-meter flag march on Afghanistan Day. What brave women. My heart goes out to them. You remember 1985? I don't know, Sharbat Gula.
Right, sir. It was the Independence Day, sir.
Yeah, that woman's face, Sharbat Gula on National Geographic, is etched in my mind. Then 2001, Time magazine showed another lady to show how the times have changed. No, sir, the times have not changed. The Taliban's ideology has not changed. And you have done a blunder to leave them in that mayhem. Whosoever call it is. You want to talk about it diplomatically, we can talk about it geopolitically also. But is that the fate the country was destined to? After 20 years of the democracies of the world coming together to get peace there and take out the terrorist elements. And you make a deal with terrorists. I mean, it couldn't be more appalling in case of humanity. Humanity has itself trampled humanity at the altar of bloody terrorists. It is sad. And even if it's sad right now as we speak, there is much which can be done. I hope people have that gumption and the will to do it. Let's see how it goes, both in terms of humanitarian assistance and the use of force if required and if mandated in the days to come. But as I see it today, let's look at this image. Carrying a flag, a lady is going on the street. What courage. Look at this youth. Look at his face and body language. Look at this lady waving both her hands with the flag. This is humanity. This is the call for humans to rise. And where we as democracy probably will fail them eventually, I don't know what we'll do. But we have enough to do at our hands, and let's stop talking and start doing things for this country which is in a war-torn stage, ravaged stage, and where humanity is getting trampled. Such a sad affair. And once again, thank you for bringing it to the world, and please carry on with the good work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Undoubtedly, the humanitarian crisis that has been unfolding in all of Afghanistan, there are many other pictures that continue to come across of how the citizens there are joining the resistance movement and are fighting the Taliban. Let's move on now and get you more updates from Afghanistan.